Welcome to day 3 of Land Launch 2025. I've saved Alicia here for a last one. Cold calling cheer, engaging the right leads. So I'm really excited to have Alicia here talk about all of that. But before we get started, let's just jump into a few things here. First of all, I mean, this is our last day. We've had Michael on day 1. We had Jaren yesterday. We talked all about texting. Day 1, we talked about pulling this sort of chronically delinquent tax list or tax delinquent list and mailing with that. We went through his mailer. We talked about Jaren, how he kind of views texting. And today we're going to be talking about cold calling with Alicia. And so, Alicia, I want you to introduce yourself. I mean, give us a little bit of an insight of who you are, what you do, how you help people, and yeah.
Yeah, fantastic. Thanks, Jesse. For those that I haven't had the pleasure of meeting yet, because I can see that there's a few names in here that I've met before, but some of you I haven't. So I'm Alicia, also known as AJ, guys. You can just call me AJ. It's much easier. I have been doing real estate over here in the States now for 9 years. I've been doing it remotely from Australia for most of that time, and I've been coming back and forth. And we started off doing single family homes. So I've been there, done the rehabbing, done the fix and flip, then got into vacant land. I've been doing vacant land now consistently for like 7 to 8 years. And 5 years ago, we started Supercharged offers. Why? Because as someone who does real estate deals, I was tired of having to go to 6 different companies for all of my acquisitions activities. One company for my data, another company for my calling, another company for my website, another company for my direct mail. I reckon I was spending 20% of my time just managing that, right? And that's time is money. So we created Supercharged Offers as a done for you service where real estate investors and now realtors come to us with their strategies, their buy box, what they want. We literally implement that for you. So we're in the background and in the front of your business, really doing all of that. So we do all your data, direct mail, digital marketing, websites, sales funnels, social build out, um, direct dials with our cold calling, and follow up on all of it. So, a lot of people in this business doing vacant land have teams, and what we've been able to do with a lot of our customers is get them more efficient and number one, more consistent in their pipeline, but also allow them to really get some scaling of efficiency in their teams because you don't need to have a data person on team or someone who's going to project manage your mailers or get all that out, right? We can do that all for you. And everything we do integrates into Pebble beautifully, which is why I love working with Jesse and Kevin. So that's a little bit about me and what we do. And as for those that just joined us as well, I'm based now here in the States. I've also got my sales guru on the call, Kai. Kai, are you able to come off mute and just say hi?
Yeah, hey guys, what's up?
Hey, Kai.
How's it going, Jesse?
Good.
So
Well,
Kai's based out of Los Angeles. He's a California guy. And he'll be here to answer any questions in the chat that you guys might have as well as I'm presenting. So yeah, lots to cover off on and looking forward to jumping in.
Alicia is a marketing guru. No, I wouldn't use the word guru, sorry, an expert.
I hate that word,
Yeah,
Jesse.
sorry, I didn't. That just kind of came. She is an
Passionate.
expert
I'm
at
passionate.
passion. Yes. She's awesome with marketing, and she's talked all sorts of angles when it comes to land and real estate investing, running a business. So I encourage you, if you catch her anywhere, make sure you follow her. She is a wealth of knowledge. So very, very thankful to have you on today.
Oh, thanks for inviting me.
Yeah, absolutely. So we're gonna jump right into it. I don't have my expectation slide here, but anyways, let me go through that really quickly. As an expectation for you guys, ask, engage, and get clarity. This is for you guys. So in the chat, okay, you guys are already typing in the chat. If you have any questions, throw it in there so Alicia can address it. Some of you guys I know want to watch this as a recording later. I can't promise to you that Alicia is going to get back to you because it's not live and she's going to be busy, and this is the great advantage for you guys that are attending live. You can engage with Alicia here. So make sure you throw any of your questions in here while she's talking, and you don't want to forget it and wait to ask later at the end. Just throw in there. We'll go through those. And we'll find time to go through those. Okay. So ask, engage, get clarity. Any support or feature requests, please save that for outside the challenge. I do not want to take up anybody's time to talk about those kind of related things. We're here to listen to what Alicia has to talk about today when it comes to cold calling and her thoughts on cold calling and leads. Finally, I will talk about the bonuses. I know some of you guys still want to get the bonuses. You know, you've got cash bonus for mailing. We're sending out a book. Alicia, I don't know if you know David Jennings. He's actually out in Australia, but he wrote the book Systemology. He is going to be shipping them out of his garage for me. So he's
I love it. I do know who he is, by the way. Awesome book.
yeah. So he's going to be sending those out to you guys. If you haven't entered those in, if you haven't opened your Pebble account, you get the entire month of Pebble free, so we can actually take action, set things up. If you're going to work with somebody like Alicia, or if you want to do your own cold calling, whatever it is, you need to be able to centralize all that data. You can get primed up and ready to go this month. Do not fall asleep. Alicia was telling me, you know, things have been shifting already since the elections. So make sure we stay on top of things. All right. All right, Alicia, I want to start off by just letting you kick it off here. I want to go through your thoughts on cold calling. I think you've got some slides as well. Is that right?
Yep, I sure do. I've got a whole presentation to go
Just
through.
so prepared. I never
Yep.
have to feel worried about her. Like, she's so good at this. Okay, cool. Take it away, Alicia. And then
Take
we'll
it
come back
away.
and we'll come back and quickly just talk about how this sort of flows into Pebble just in a few minutes.
Yeah,
I
awesome.
want
I've got
you-
some of that in the slides too. So, and
Oh,
by the
perfect.
way, guys, I won't be presenting for the whole time. It'll be like maybe 20, 30 minutes, and
Perfect.
then we'll just open it up to some really good dialogue. I'd
Perfect.
also really encourage you guys, those that are currently got their camera off, really encourage you when you're on Zooms to keep your camera on. You know, what I love about this vacant land community is we are a community. And sometimes putting faces to names and being able to chat with people in the chat boxes when we're on calls like this. I've seen people on Zooms that I've run literally connect because they recognize each other and now they're doing deals together.
That
So
is such a good point, Alicia. I'm so glad you brought that up.
come on camera, guys. Don't be shy. Even if you're working in the background, it doesn't matter.
Absolutely.
But, hey, Diana, there we go. You see some beautiful faces. Oh, that's fine, Josh. I know it's 1 a.m. in Vietnam. Not a problem. We understand. That's all good. But yeah, wherever you are, guys, come on camera. We would love to hear from you and see you as well. So and towards the end, when we go to Q&A, I have a rule. I won't answer a question unless you show me your face. So we've all got these
Yes.
faces and beautiful smiles. So when we get to hey Tara, when we get to that, we'll come on camera. All right. I need sharing turned on, Jesse, please.
Okay, you should be able to share. No, I made you a co-host. Let me know if that works.
Yeah, good. We are good to go, guys. All right, can you see my screen, everyone?
Yep, we can see it.
So as I mentioned in the intro, we started Supercharged offers to be able to help other real estate investors with everything acquisitions marketing. And I'm really proud to say that after 5 years, we've worked with hundreds of real estate investors across vacant land, single family, self-storage, you name it, we've done it. And now we introduced our own cold calling team now 10 months ago. We've been working with our dedicated team, starting to see some fantastic results, guys. So I'm super excited to be sharing this with you today. So first and foremost, let's talk about the new era of cold calling, because I think like anything, right? Let's look at vacant land. Vacant land has come a long way since I started doing deals 7, 8 years ago, right? Back then, it was just get an infill lot and flip it. Now we're talking about entitlements and subdivisions and tax liens and all these other things that you've been hearing about over the last few days as well. So cold calling is the same. It has come a long way. And it's come a long way because it has to, like any marketing channel, you need to adjust to what the market is doing so that your marketing matches the market at that point in time. So what do I mean by that? As you guys know with real estate, it goes through a cycle. We go through every 7 to 8 years. Real estate goes through this shift from a seller's market to a buyer's market to neutral to back to a seller's market. It does it. What drives that? Supply and demand, economy, inflation, all of those things that we've seen that have been a little challenging this year, let's face it. So as that market shifts, you need to adapt your marketing to enable to maximize that shift. And really for this year, we have been in a seller's market. I'm seeing that we're starting to come out of that, and I'm super excited about 2025. But that also means that you need to have more conversations with property owners. The more conversations you can have, the better. This year, we have noticed that direct mail, whilst it still works, direct mail responses are down slightly. And I'll talk to you as we go through this presentation about how to use calling and direct mail together. There's also a change in market demographics. So back 7 years ago, and Jesse, you can probably comment on this as well. When I first started doing vacant land, nearly every prospect I spoke to was probably over the age of 70.
Yes.
Right? They were all old people. But that's not the case now. We're now dealing with people, or not dealing with, but we're communicating with people who are in their 20s and 30s that have inherited a property and didn't even know it was in the family. Or maybe they're newly married and they bought a property to build on, but marriage didn't work out. They're going through a divorce. No one wants the land. All the way into people in their middle age, like me. Just letting some people in here. Keep an eye on the people coming in, Jesse. We're dealing with people in different age brackets, situations, etc. So we need to meet people where they're at. And that's why I'm a big believer in marketing, because all the different marketing channels that we use are really intentional in how we're reaching out to those different demographics. For example, subdivide deals. Now, for somebody doing a subdivide deal, they often know what they're sitting on. They know what their property is worth if it was to be entitled. But often they don't have the skills or expertise to know where to start with that. So we're doing, instead of just a call, we're actually booking them onto consultation calls and appointments with our customers, so they can bring on other decision makers. They can talk more openly about their land and what they want to do with it. So different things, right? So what we need to think about now with our marketing is, if you haven't done calling before, let's entertain that as another marketing channel, but you have to do it right. And I'm going to talk to you about that today as well. So in the past, this is what we used to experience with cold calling. And certainly, I hate to say it, but I know of a few companies out there that this is what their customers are experiencing. And I don't want this for you. When we first started doing calling a few years ago, this is what we were experiencing on the daily. Quality of leads was not great. Calls were not recorded. So we had no way of going back and checking on the sentiment, the tonality, like what did the property owner say, but also what didn't they say as well, and really getting that feeling for things. The lead was sent over to us via email, but then we couldn't get them back on the phone. They were ghosting us. So, a lot of our calls slips, our leads slipped through. There was no lead tracking. We had no database or nothing to be able to see what was happening with our leads and which ones needed a callback and which ones didn't. So that was making it hard. The people that we were using, the language barrier was a challenge. So that meant less confidence with leads. They were off-site. No one was managing them. No one was overseeing stuff. So we had zero visibility that we were paying this person for 8 hours a day. We don't know if they were working 3 hours, 4 hours. We have no idea. And there was no quality control, right? And also the big one for me is there was no compliance. And unfortunately, a previous company we were working with actually got one of our customers in trouble because they weren't compliant, and they told us they were. So that's big, right? We don't want to put you in danger. Now, all of these challenges, if you've tried cold calling in the past and that's what you were at, it's time consuming. It wastes your time, wastes mine too. You end up being frustrated. It's inefficient. And when leads start ghosting you, you start to, if anyone's been on Ajay's calls, Ajay Sharma, and looked at the stuff he's doing, the more that they start ghosting you, the more frustrated you start to get, right? So it all leads in together. And we do have people that want to do cold calling themselves. Let me start by saying it is not easy. Cold calling is not an easy job at all. And I wouldn't want to do it myself, because you got to be okay with rejection. You got to be okay with people yelling at you all day long. You need to do a repetitive task that isn't that sexy. And if you wanted to do it yourself, you've got to set up all the right systems, processes, callers. Like, it is not efficient to be getting on your iPhone and calling 20 people a day. That is not cold calling. We're dialing thousands a day for you. You've got to get compliant around it. There's a lot involved. And so the question I want to ask you, if you're thinking of doing it yourself, is what is your time worth? Because time is money. Okay. The more the move the needle activities that you're focused on, the better. So let's talk about when and where to call, this new era of cold calling and how you use it. First of all, I just want to say, guys, cold calling is not just about picking up the phone and calling someone and saying, hey, do you want to sell your property? Kind of the old era. So we use our team in a number of situations with calling. And I want you to think of our team as like your inside sales agent, because that's exactly what they are. They're not just a cold caller. They're a sales trained person that can do different things for you. So where and when would you use it? Front end. So front end being the front of your pipeline. You can use calling to test new markets. Let's say that you've got 5 new counties that you haven't done a deal in yet. And you say to me, everyone calls me AJ, by the way, guys. You say to me, AJ, I've got these 5 new counties. I want to call 2,000 in each county. And that's going to give me some leads. And then I can have a look at what those properties are, run my comps. And out of those 5 counties, we end up with 3 of them that are awesome. And they're the ones we double down on. So cold calling is a great way to get that instant lead, because you will get leads on day 1, day 2. It allows you to get that instant, okay, let's get a lay of the land and see which areas we want to do, but also areas we don't want to do. Because sometimes you don't know that until leads start coming through. And then when you're running your comps, you're like, oh, good area. Oh, not good area. You can also use it on the front end of your pipeline to go deeper into markets. So if there's been previous markets that you guys have done before that you've loved, excellent. Let's now double down in those markets and start to extract some more leads out of there for you. You can use our calling team on your back end. So let's say that you've sent out some direct mail, might have been a blind offer, range offer, neutral letter, postcard, whatever it is. You've sent that out. Now you want to follow up with the lead to make sure that they got your mailer, they've opened it, they've read it, and are they interested in a consultation call? So this is allowing just another layer. And marketing, 7 to 13 touch points is where it's at, guys. It's not one touch point, it's multiple touch points that then end up converting leads. So really doing that after an offer is sent, calling them to book them into an appointment and get them back into your ecosystem. You can also use our team to call buyers. We can pull cash buyer lists. We can pull lists for local builders, developers, etc. Or maybe you've got your own list around that. We can start calling them to find out their buy box for you. Use a buyer first approach. And to lean into what Jaren said yesterday, we've got a lot of customers. We think of this like a funnel, guys. Data first, then they're doing SMS. After that, anyone that doesn't have a number that can be texted or didn't respond to an SMS, now we're going to do calling and pick up the phone. Okay, so different ways that you can use a calling team. And I want you to all think really openly about that, because definitely it's quite flexible in how and where you use an inside sales agent for your team. So what's our unique approach at Supercharged Offers? Well, first of all, we tried a few other companies out there with cold calling, and we thought, we want to do things a little differently. So a couple of things at a high level, and I'll go into this in a bit more detail. We focus on time, not dials. And I'll go through what that means in a minute. We can do warm transfers to connect you instantly to your lead. We're also 100% compliant when it comes to do not call and litigator checklists, which is part of the TCPA compliance. All of your calls are recorded. We want feedback. We're dealing with humans, not robots. We want feedback. We can book appointments with you for people that are doing larger properties, sorry. Our team is sales trained, they're on site and they are managed, so you don't need to worry about managing them, and they are inside sales agents. We get you all of your reports on Airtable, so you've got a dashboard, and you have a full-time account manager. His name's Robbie. He is awesome. He's based here in Florida. He will be there every day for you to check in with. He gives you weekly updates. You can have a call with him. He's awesome. So we're very hands-on and very transparent with everything that we do. So let's break this down. Let's talk about time, not dials. So there are some companies out there that will dial your list maybe 1 or 2 times. Sometimes they'll say we'll triple dial that list for you. You're paying for them to pick up the phone and actually push a number. But if no one answers, you've just paid for a service that hasn't got you the result you want. Okay, so time, not dials, is where it's at. How do we do that? So let's just say that we've got a list of 8,000 records that we're calling for you over a 2-month period. That's our base package, by the way. We are going to call that 8,000 multiple times. So we'll get through the 8,000, we'll call it again. We'll call it again. We'll call it again. Every time we're calling it, we're taking out the people that you've connected with, and we're taking out the people that say no. So that list of 8,000 starts to get a little smaller, but we keep calling. So that means over a space of 2 months, we might be calling anywhere between 50 to 60,000 times through the list. That also means that over that period of time, that person's going to get maybe 5 or 6 missed calls from the same number. Here's the thing. This is what we do, and a lot of other companies won't. People are curious. That's what humans are. We genuinely get curious. So if you've noticed a call 4 or 5 times from the same number, sometimes people like to call that number back. And we get that all the time. So people call it back. We can then process that as an incoming call, triage the lead, and get them over to you. So they'll still be in our dialing system. And as it comes through, we're like, Jesse, thanks so much for calling us back. So what we want to do there, guys, is focus on pickup rate. The more that we're dialing, the more that we increase the likelihood of someone getting in touch with, okay? So time, not dials. Let's talk about warm transfers. I love warm transfers. Why? It connects you instantly with your lead. If any of you have been on RJ's calls recently, we talk about speed to lead, which is what our package is. This allows you to start that relationship off the get-go. Okay, I always say this business that we're in, guys, we're actually in the business of relationships, not real estate. Real estate is just what we happen to be transacting, right? Everything these days is about people, not properties. So what we want to do is minimize the ghosting. How do we do that? If we've got a good lead on the line. So let's say Jesse's my customer, and I've just done a cold call with John. John's got a property in, I don't know, El Paso County, and it meets the criteria. He's really interested in selling. It's got a probate on it that Jesse's okay with because that's part of his criteria. So I call Jesse straight away. I say, Jesse, I've got John on the line. John meets your criteria. His property's in El Paso. He's ready to talk to you now. I'm going to patch him through. Then we get John and we say, John, I've got Jesse connecting you guys now. Click. Now we get them on the line with you straight away. Now, this works super well, guys, if you're ready for that call. And I've got some training I can give you on how to handle a warm transfer. Equally, RJ Sharma's script is fantastic. His first level call script that he has, fantastic for that. You get the intro, you connect with them straight away, you build that rapport. You do not need to make an offer on this first call, guys. What you do, though, is set the expectation, get to know them, get them to know you, ask about the property. Now they're in your ecosystem. The next time you call them, which you set the tone for, because you'll say, like if it was Jesse and John, Jesse would say, okay, John, it's been wonderful talking with you today. I'm going to go run some numbers. I'm going to give you a call back. How's tomorrow at 2 o'clock? Does that work for you? Great. Let's book that in, John. I'm going to put it into my calendar and send that over to you as well. It'll be from this number. So in your calendar, it's this number. I look forward to talking with you tomorrow at 2 o'clock. Now you've set the expectation. No more ghosting. Yeah, you will get the odd bit of ghosting, but you've now got that connection, and that connection's where it's at. But we can also do booked appointments. So this is a really interesting strategy, and this is where I love this strategy. If anyone on here is doing larger deals, subdivision deals, entitlement, all of those bigger project type stuff, appointments is excellent. Why? Because a person sitting on a large property, they often know what they're sitting on, as I said earlier, right? They know that their 200 acres is worth a lot of money if it was to be entitled, but they don't have the skills or the wherewithal or the time or the patience to do that entitlement themselves. So what do? We qualify the property, we qualify the prospect, and we say, look, it sounds, John, like your property might meet our criteria for an entitlement, which means that we can probably give you more money for your property than what you would get on the retail market or what you would get with these lowball offers out there. So what I want to do, John, I'm going to book you in a meeting with Jesse. How's tomorrow at 1 o'clock? And you mentioned, John, that you had a family member, your wife, that she might be interested in coming along to that call as well, because you both own the property. So I'm going to set that up for you tomorrow. I'm going to put it in your calendar. Get your wife along as well. Jesse's going to have a great call with you tomorrow where they'll go through and talk about if your property meets their criteria and what the process of working together on this property looks like. So what does that do in the mind of the prospect with John? Number one, he's now feeling super important. Number two, we've got dedicated time for you to go and research the property before the call. And also we're going to send some reminders through your booking system to that lead about the call and what it's for. So now again, you've got more touch points, more ability to engage that seller. And now you're making them feel pretty darn special because they've got a dedicated time with you. All right. So different strategies for different things. Okay, let's talk about compliance, guys. I'm really passionate about this because one of my core values is integrity. And I'm a big believer that in business, you got to do things the right way. Okay. So when we're doing your data, we're going to pull all of your data for you. Then we're going to run it through the required checks with the TCPA. That is putting people through a do not call list and a litigators list. The law states if you are on a do not call list, you cannot be called for any sales or marketing, period. Okay, don't even get into the gray space of that. And it's not the cold caller or us that gets in trouble, it's you, because you're the one that's requested the service. So you need to make sure that any service provider you are using is compliant with that. And we even go so far when we're sending mailers out now in Georgia, for example, you have to have a header on your mailer in Georgia that talks about the fact that you are soliciting for property. So there's all these little things that you need to keep in mind. We're going to keep you safe with that. So cold calling is 100% safe, but only if you go with someone like us that will keep you safe. And for me, scrubbing for that compliance is key because it is about doing good in business. But we will show you in the data who is on that do not call list and litigators list. Then what can you do? Send them a mailer. Still communicate with them because you can still send them a piece of direct mail and an offer. Doesn't mean you can't liaise with them, just means you got to do it the right way. Okay. Let's talk about recording calls. I love this. As I said before, we are dealing with humans, not robots. So our calling team are human, our seller is human, and you are human. That means that we're not prone to being perfect. So this is a great way to listen to the call, understand from the seller's perspective, their tone, their pitch, their wording, what they said, but also what they don't say as well, because that's just as important. Listen to it and prepare for that. Also provide feedback to my team. Like if there's some stuff working in your script that's awesome, we want to know. If there's some stuff that you go, I don't like the way that's being asked and you want to change that, we want to know. And all you need to do is just engage your account manager. Robbie will implement that within 24 hours. So awesome. This is also going to help you with your sales skills because if you can listen to the call and pick up where our team left off, you're going to get straight into what you need to with those calls. So I love the fact that that's recorded for you as well. Let's talk about the team. They are sales trained. They're on site. They need to be rated a 4 out of 5 for English, which, by the way, on an English rating scale, most of us here in America are about a 3 out of 5, but they do need to be rated 4 out of 5. They are sales trained. They have a good baseline level knowledge of real estate as well. We put them through some training for that. I'll get you to listen to one in a moment. They sound great. They're super professional. We will customize your scripts. So depending upon your strategy, your data, and what you're looking to achieve, we will customize that based on what you want, and you'll have the same caller working with you. Now, if they're not available because they're sick, we've got people that can slot in and backfill, so you'll never have a day that we're not calling. But we want you to work with them so that they can improve with you over time, because once they get to know you, your prospects, your process, the more that you can kind of have them really integrate what you want. You don't need to wonder how they're performing. There's a quality assurance person on site that actually listens to all the calls and does coaching with them and gives feedback, and they will work in the time zone that you want them to. So they're fantastic. By the way, guys, they're actually all based in Egypt. They're not in the Philippines. Egypt has a fantastic culture for sales and calling, starting to emerge a lot. And most of them are like, university qualified college graduates. They're awesome. So we love our team. Great. Reporting. We will set you up with full transparency on Airtable, and I'll show you guys that in a minute. It's going to be everything recorded. Everything's going to be added in there. Why don't I actually pause and show you that now? Let's go into here. So this is, can you see that, Jesse?
Yep, I can see that.
Yep. Awesome. So you'll get your own Airtable portal. And what you'll see in here, first of all, is your leads. So on a daily basis, so this customer's got 3 already today, 4 yesterday, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 the day before. Wow. So you'll have your leads. So all of your prospects, their property details, city, state, county, APN, their phone number. Where possible, guys, we are going to try and get an email for you, but not, especially a lot of older people they're a bit hesitant with that. So we'll try and get an email. We'll then confirm with them property size, access, utilities. We may ask things again, whatever your customized script is, we'll have these columns customized for you as well. So we may ask things about best future use, etc., what the property is zoned for. And then for this particular customer, we're not doing warm transfers. They just want the call completed and then they're calling them back. But if we've done a warm transfer or an appointment, that will be on here and you'll then know which are the ones that you need to call back. We'll have some notes in here, and obviously all of the recordings are in here for you to listen to as well. So full transparency. Now, the good thing is you can download this, but if you are a Pebble user, all of these leads will also be going straight into Pebble for you. And we'll talk about that in a minute. The second thing is your performance tracker. So again, we want to perform. You're not paying us to not perform. So this particular customer, we are aiming for 3 leads per day. We're actually averaging 4 leads per day. And you'll see on their tracker all of the leads coming through. You can click into these leads and have a look at them. But also, and this is where we can do some more analytics into Pebble as well, when we upload all of your data, we know what city the properties are in. And now we can see for this person, they've got 8 leads for Athens. Oh, what's going on in Athens? 6 in Cabo, another 2 or 6 in Conway. So we can overlay the KPIs, if you like, around what's happening in different areas and being able to assess that. And the last part of your dashboard, guys, is your resources. So this has your script in here and also your do not call ready data. So you can download this data, look at the tab that has the litigators and DNC, pop them in. They're already in Pebble because we're going to upload them for you anyway. Now you can send them an offer. Okay, great way to kind of manage that. So let me get back to here for you. So that's your Airtable dashboard. Data, we do all of your data for you guys. So you simply in our onboarding form, you just tell us your wish list. Where do you want to do deals? What types of deals? What all the different things you're looking for? What's your strategy? We're then going to go and pull that data. We've also got all MLS records as well. Why? Sometimes looking at expired listings on MLS is a great land opportunity. Maybe they've worked with a realtor wasn't able to perform. Let's now have a chat with them, okay? So we can do all that. We've got an algorithm that does a probability for road access. We will pull all the data, we'll scrub it, verify it. We'll do all the skip tracing for you. We will skip up to 5 numbers. We try and get as many numbers as possible because we'll call them all, and we'll do the DNC litigator checks for you as well. So you don't need to worry about any of that. We will do it for you. In terms of CRM integration, if you're not with Pebble, we can do a webhook, but let's face it, Pebble's the best. So if you are with Pebble, we will simply upload all the data for you. You just give my team access to your Pebble. They'll upload it, tag it, make sure it's all in there for you. So as soon as we start calling and your leads come in, those leads will be pushed into your Pebble seller's inbox. And then you just work the lead straight from your system. You don't need to worry about importing anything or messing around with it. It'll all be done for you, which is great. So let's have a quick demo. I'm just going to push share my audio on this.
Guys, if you have any questions, throw it in the chat. I've certainly got a few questions. You got me really excited about some of this stuff.
Yeah,
Yes,
awesome.
ask those after, but
I've got a couple of slides to go and then we'll be good. But yeah,
yes.
Let's have a quick listen to what a call sounds like, guys.
Hello.
Hello?
Hi, this is Kayla. Am I speaking to Vernon?
Yes, may I ask who's calling?
Yes, I'm Kayla Smith, and I work with a group of investors in your area called Bear Creek Buys Land. And I'm reaching out because we've been looking into properties in Lee County and noticed you own vacant land there. You still own that property at 207 Canton Avenue?
Mm-hmm.
Would you be interested in selling it?
When the price is right.
Well, I'd like to ask you a couple of basic questions to ensure the property meets our initial criteria, so we're not wasting your time. It'll only take a few moments. Okay?
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, I just need you to confirm the amount of acres on that property.
It's half an acre.
0.
Excellent. So I won't play the whole thing, guys, but you get the tone, right? It's someone who's relatively neutral, friendly, gets straight to the point, which you want in cold calling. You don't want them to just, try and, how's your day? You don't want that, because people, when it's a cold call, they get suspicious if they don't know the person. So you want to make sure that you're just, getting straight to the point and moving that person through. We just put this back on full screen for you. But yeah, what they do from there is they'll go and start to ask some more questions to qualify the property, qualify the prospect, and then either set them into a call with you, warm transfer them, or do an appointment, which is awesome. So what's our program? Essentially, we've got what we call our speed to lead program, because we want leads to get into your ecosystem fast. We have a part-time option and a full-time option. And basically the package, guys, we're in the part-time option, we're going up to 4,000 unique property owners per month, dialing that 4,000 nonstop for the whole time. This will get you on average with that amount of data about 1 to 2 leads a day. Most of our customers in certain areas are getting more like 2 to 3 leads a day with this campaign at the moment, but at a minimum, we promise you 1 to 2 per day. We're going to do all the data. You'll have my data team. We'll get everything done into Pebble. We'll set up the Airtable portal for you. We'll do warm transfers. We can process those incoming calls. Everything's done for you. This includes everything, right? You're looking at $22.75 a month, which for me is awesome because I know some other services out there that are a lot more than that, but then you got to bring your own data or you've got to pay for data or pay extra for skip tracing, right? We're all in one. That's all it is. We're going to guarantee to get you 30 really good qualified leads in the first 60 days. At the moment, we're averaging more like 60 to 70 in those first 60 days, but we want to have a minimum to work from. So that's the part-time option. Then we've got the full-time option, all the same inclusions, just different data. Now we're going up to 10,000 and you're looking at $3,995 a month for that. All of our customers are getting awesome leads and all of them are getting deals, which is fantastic. So, and if you're working with Ajay and his stuff, some good stuff there too. The other thing I want to quickly show you guys is Buyer Finder, because once you've got a deal, we want to focus on how we get that deal sold. The quickest and easiest way, guys, to go and test the market for your property is to use this tool here. So it's buyerfinder.io, and I just want to show you guys how super easy this is. So you can look up the property with the address, parcel number, and APN, or lat long, because for vacant land, sometimes we just need the lat long. So you look up your property. This one's in Lincoln County, North Carolina. So you'll find the property. It's going to find all of the neighbors in a particular radius as well. Oh, sorry. Let's go here first of all, put it on satellite. So there's our property. If it's not right, you can change it. So you can move it around just to, move it to a different property, but we'll go with this one because that was the right one. There we go. So once you've got your right property, it's going to search for all the neighbors in the area. Also all the cash buyers. So people that have bought more than 2 properties like yours within the last 18 months. Okay. We're going to have a radius of neighbors within a block, subdivision, neighborhood, and all the cash buyers. When you come down here, you can say, great, I want to keep all the cash buyers, but I only want to send to say the top 50, the closest 50 to my property. And now I can send out a neighbor letter that might be cash only, cash or seller finance. I can send out a postcard. If you've got a realtor on your property, guys, you can also get your realtor to use this and send it out on your behalf. So let's just say that we've got a cash deal and then we want to send a letter and a flyer. So with the letter and flyer, a few things. You've got this beautiful color flyer that's got photos, images, all the stuff that you want on it. You've then got the letter that's going out to the neighbors that has all the right content, and a letter that's going out to the cash buyers because they're 2 different markets, 2 different avatars. With the flyer, guys, very quickly, some things you can do here to make it your own. You can zoom in and out on the image. Maybe it's a different type of property that you wanted to show what it's close by to, or you want to zoom in a little for that property. You can even switch it from Street View to, I'll go here. Hold on. Let's say we're selling it for 50.
This is
worth,
cool, by the way. This is the first time I've seen this. Sorry, Alicia.
yeah, it's awesome. I haven't finished. So let's say your property is worth 50 and you're going to sell it for 45. So if you want to toggle between Street View, you can do that. You can also upload your own image. And when it comes to the Street View, like here's our property here, right? But we don't want that view. We want this view. We want to toggle it around and go, yeah, now we can see it's cleared, it's flat, even got room to put a driveway in straight away. That's going to be the image that we want. So we can just come down here now and save that as snapshot. You can also upload your own photos. So if you've had photos taken already and you've got a particular one that you love, upload it. You can have a play around with your colors, guys. So if your colors for your branding, because you can upload your logo as well. If yours are more blue or you're more into the purple, you can do your secondary colors here as well. So different things you can do to play around with that. And all of these fields you can edit. So if you've now got because as we know, sometimes the county doesn't get it right. Let's say this property is 0.41 on the title, but you've now got a survey done. And your survey is actually, no, it's actually 0.5 acres, half an acre. Okay, so you can update the information. We've used this so you can do it for houses as well, small multifamily, whatever you want. So once you've played around with your colors and your logos and everything that you want, you simply just go approve and continue. It's going to ask you for the right information. Super easy to make sure that that's the right info for your letters. You pay, you are done. That's going to get sent out the following day. And the data for all of your cash buyers and your neighbors is going to be emailed to you. So what do you do with that? You upload it into Pebble, into your buyers network. For those cash buyers, you start reaching out to them. Okay, buyer first approach. So that's Buyer Finder, super easy platform. We absolutely love what our team's done with working with that. Yeah, and you can switch those images around if you want it to just be a map image as well. So lots of cool stuff there. Lastly, guys, I just want to give you guys these two links because with, and then we'll open it up to questions. With being vacant land people, some of the stuff that a lot of people are struggling with at the moment is number one, how to close a lead, right? We're going to do a great job of getting leads into your system. The number one skill that you guys all need to do is be better at closing them. So Ajay Sharma and his Land Closers Academy has got some fantastic resources. I've put my link in there for that. To help you with those sales scripts. It's all free, which is amazing. And then the other thing that we need to get good at, and I love that Pebble has a lot of integration for this, is comping. A lot of people new to land really need to build up their skill and their muscle when it comes to comping. So Robin and the Land Pilot, 99 bucks a month. You can jump on daily, every single day. They do an hour comps call. Really great way to build that muscle in how to do comping really easily. Okay, so some cool stuff there. So that's it from me. Hopefully that's been super useful. I'm just going to put our booking link in there if anyone wants to have a call with us. Myself and Kai are here to answer any questions. But yeah, let's open it up for questions and comments, guys.
I do want to say, you see how on top Alicia is of her stuff. This is what it's like to work with Alicia as well. And I mean this in the best possible way. She knows her stuff, and she'll keep an eye, and her team will keep an eye on everything. So Alicia, we've been working together for a long time now. So, anyways, let's jump into some questions here. I think early on, Sylvan asked, what have you noticed that has changed after the election? Lisa, do you want to talk a little bit about that?
Yeah. Oh, love that question. I was actually just on a call with a customer before. I have noticed a shift, right? It's like as soon as that election happened, it's like this consumer confidence started to grow. So a lot more people wanted to get back into their real estate business because they felt a bit more confident. We've got customers now that are noticing that they're getting a lot more inquiries for the properties that they've got to sell, and things are now starting to sell. And sellers are now more open because they're like, I'm not having a fear of, regardless of what political view you have here, guys. A lot of sellers were like, well, if Kamala gets in and she starts to put this stuff in place with capital gains and what have you, like, what does that mean for me and my property? So, a lot of people were really unsure, but now I'm seeing that people are getting a bit more sure about stuff. I'm thinking 2025 is going to be a good year.
Yeah, yeah. I've got a question for you. I think a lot of people, when it comes to cold calling, are afraid to hop on that call after, let's say you're doing that warm transfer, or you're calling them back. You mentioned you don't talk about pricing. We don't make offers on that, perhaps. What does that call typically look like? And then
Yeah.
how do you wrap up on that call?
Yeah. Let me get to why we don't do pricing on a cold call, guys. This is really important. You never want to outsource your negotiation. You are the one in control of the negotiation on your property, not someone else. Okay. When I say you, that could be someone on your team, right? It doesn't have to be you exactly. But you don't want to outsource it to someone that doesn't really know your business model and all of that. Why? The other reason too, if we start talking pricing with a prospect and we say, okay, so what are you wanting to sell for? Let me get a show of hands or put this in the chat box if you agree with me. Just put a yes in the chat box, right? How many of us have dealt with a seller, doesn't know what their property is worth? The price is probably something off the back of a cereal box, and they saw a property down the road that was already cleared, that had a driveway, that sold for twice as much, and they're like, I want that. Let me see what happens in the chat box. Yes. Yeah. Okay. That's from you, Jesse. Can I have a show of hands or a yes? Yes, Sylvan. Yes. Some property owners do know what their property is worth. Majority have no idea. Majority have tried to do something. Yep. Getting thumbs up and yeses. So what we don't want to do is anchor. So anchoring is a psychological term, right? We don't want to anchor a price in the prospect's mind, because that's going to make it 10 times harder for you to negotiate when you do talk with them. We want you to be the one. And if you go to Ajay's script in the link I put there, Ajay's first call does nothing about offers. Nothing. If they say, what are you going to give me for my property? He goes around it. He says, well, I need to go and look at the property first of all. I need to go run some numbers, right? I need to go and check, is it cleared? Is it not cleared? Maybe I need to do some local research. And then on our next call, I'm going to give you an offer. So when we do that warm transfer or send the lead to you, don't feel like you have to do an offer on that first call. Get to know them, find out about the property, set the expectation for what you do, your value proposition. On that second call, now go to an offer. Okay. So Jesse, I know that's a long answer to your question, but hopefully that's answered it.
No, and then I follow up to that. I always find it awkward to wrap things up. How do you book a meeting from that meeting? Do you what do you what's your typical, like, what do you suggest for people to
Yeah.
wrap first call?
Yep, love it. That first call, guys, and also this is in Ajay's scripts as well. So at the end of the call with your property owner, here's how I'd end it. And I'll go with John, who I was using before. Hey, John, it's been amazing talking with you today. Thank you so much for sharing so much about your property. Love the fact that you and your family have got memories growing up on the property. So I can see that this property is important to you. Hey, John, here's what's going to happen next. So as soon as I hang up from you, I'm going to go run some numbers. I'm going to jump on and do some due diligence and check a little bit more about your property and just make sure it fits my buy box criteria. Tomorrow, John, how's like 1 o'clock tomorrow? Can I call you back tomorrow at the same time, same number? And if he says yes, great, lock that in. If you can, get an email address and send them a confirmation. But set the scene. Just lock in that next time. If you need 2 days to run your comps, say that. Hey, I've got a number of properties I'm working on at the moment, John. I'm estimating that in about 2 days' time, I'm going to have some numbers. Can I come back to you on Friday at 2 o'clock? Does that time work for you? Okay. Just here's the thing, guys. I call it the Dwizzywid factor. Dwizzywid as in this right here. Okay. That's an acronym, Dwizzywid. What do you think that stands for, guys?
Do what you should. I have no idea.
You were close, Jesse. Grant?
Do what you say you will do.
Bingo, my friend. Absolutely. The thing with this business is managing expectations. If you say to someone that you're going to do something, do it. Because the minute you don't and you call them back, even if on Friday at 1 o'clock, if I call John back and say, John, I still need a bit more time. I'm still running some numbers. I'm waiting to hear back from the county because I can't get hold of anyone there. I just wanted to give you an update. John's all good. But if you don't call John back and all of a sudden next week on Monday and Tuesday, you're calling him back, that lead's going to get cold. So manage expectations, guys. Set that scene for what's going to happen next and follow through with it.
Awesome. I love that. Do what you say you would do. Okay. Josh asks here, are you aware of updates to the TCPA one-to-one consent rules coming in January? What are your thoughts regarding it and cold calling? I don't believe that affects us, correct?
Yeah, we're looking into that at the moment, Josh, to be honest, because there's a couple of different regulations that are changing and 2025 is going to be interesting. What I will say is our cold calling team, we're always up to date. We've got an attorney on site as well. We're always looking at the regulations because even down to things like what times can you call? Different states have different times as to when it's lawful and unlawful to call. So all of those things will always be across. And we're at the moment, we're looking at how that stuff might impact us. So yeah, I'll update you guys later on that, but great question, Josh. To reassure you guys, though, we do have someone on team who's looking into all those things. Yeah.
Awesome. All right. I'm going to share my screen here. If you guys have any other questions, throw it in the chat there. I do want to talk about a couple things here really quickly in regards to so I shared this yesterday, just sort of a visual, right? I like to have visuals here. So when you're working with a cold calling team like AJ's here, right? They're going to be pulling your, well, specifically Supercharged officers, they'll pull your list for you. They're going to get your list into Pebble. So when those leads come in, they come into what we call our inbox here. Those are going to get fired over by Alicia's team into the inbox, where then you're going to push into your deal board, and then you'll manage that. So I just want you guys to have a visual understanding of where things are going to be when you're working with a team like Alicia's. Okay, it's going to come into the inbox. You don't need to worry about getting out your own marketing. You don't need to worry about finding property owners. You don't even need to worry about how things are going to come into your inbox. Lisa is saying, hey, I'm going to get those in. Not only that, your property records will be available in your account already. So when you need to pull things up, it's there. I don't think I really need to walk you guys through much here. The great thing is, again, with someone like Alicia, she's gonna have that all set up in place already. Okay,
Yep.
I just wanted to prepare that and make sure you guys have clarity on that. So if there are any questions, throw it in the chat. All right, I'm gonna go to my other screen here. So, Alicia, thank you so much for coming in, sharing your insights. Everything from warm transfers to how you go about your cold calling, things with your list and properties. Thank you for sharing all of that with us.
You are so welcome, Jesse. Thanks for having me on. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, hang on there. If you guys have any other questions, please throw it in the chat. I do want to remind you for your bonuses, if you want to get a hold of these, just head over to pebblrei.com/LL2025, okay, for 2025. Also, Alicia doesn't know this, but on December 27th, or maybe she does. On December 27th, one of my team members, I think Jaren's going to also be live as well. We're going to be just spot checking. So if you want to come in on the 27th, if you're working with Alicia and you're ready to go and kick things off with her, and you just are paranoid, you're not sure, come in on this session. Okay.
I'll be there, Jesse. Put it in my
Well,
calendar.
there you go. We're gonna create a room just for Alicia. So if you want to hop in and show her what you've got, you want to just have a quick touch and go with her and make sure everything's ready to move and it looks good inside of Pebble. Maybe you want to jump in Alicia's room, then my room after. Perfect. We're gonna be there for the hour. December 27th. I don't know what day that is. Probably this Friday or something like that. 10 a.m. Pacific, 1 p.m. Eastern, everything in between. I don't know what it is. I will send an email reminder, but please mark this down on your calendar. So what the heck is the link? It's the same link you used to join this call here. Okay, or you can write it down, pebblrei.com/Zoom. Okay, we're gonna be live here as well. And Alicia, awesome. I'm so happy to have you here as well now.
Yeah, definitely.
Awesome. Okay, guys. Well, this wraps up our Land Launch 2025. I mentioned yesterday we have a bonus session. On the 13th, on Friday, I'm going to have Noah Bateman. He's going to be coming in to talk about PPC. This is our little surprise session here on the 13th, this Friday at 10 a.m. So make sure if you guys want to come through, same link, I'll send out a reminder. All right, guys, you have the information from Alicia. Alicia, thank you for going so in depth with
You're
cold
so
calling,
welcome, guys.
and everything.
Yeah, so please, reach out. Kai and myself, we're more than happy to just have an exploration call with anyone. If you go into the chat, I've put our link and so has Kai. Our phone number's in there. Reach out to us. Any questions, even if you just want to talk in a bit more detail about your strategy and what you're looking to do for 2025. Because outside of just doing cold calling, we can do direct mail, we can do websites, we've got Buyer Finder, whole range of products and services that we can use to help you guys be successful. And I just want to give you all a challenge for 2025. Really think about where you're spending your time. If your time is best spent on lead flow, managing your leads, doing follow-ups, focusing on sales, that's where you're going to be successful. Really think about what you outsource on the front end and the back end to maximize your time, because these businesses, we've got some customers doing amazing, but here's the clue, right? They're not doing everything themselves. They're partnering with the right people to make sure that they're really maximizing their time. So look forward to speaking with you guys. And yeah, Kai and I, we've got lots of times available between this week and next week. Jump in, book a call, let's have a chat.
Awesome. All right, guys. Thank you.
The other thing I'll say one more thing, if that's okay, Jesse.
Yeah.
Guys, even if you don't want to start cold calling or appointment setting or warm transfers with us until next year, we've got quite a lot of customers at the moment that want to pay in this year, but not start until end of Jan, beginning Feb. No problems at all. Because if you've had a year that you want to write off some more stuff with your taxes, we can do that for you. No problems. Pay now, use it later.
Awesome. All right, guys. Thank you once again. Alicia, thank you so much for your time and coming in to speak with us. I'll see you guys around. Maybe I'll see you guys on the Friday. Certainly, I should see you guys on the 27th. If you haven't opened up your Pebble account, make sure you do so and email us, so we'll give you complete access for the entire month. All right, guys, take care and talk to you guys soon. Bye, guys.